Hello friends, this video on human health and diseases part 16 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. So now we are going to quickly talk about the most important topic when we talk about immunity, that is vaccination. So as I discussed just now, what is vaccination? It is the process in which vaccine is given to improve the immunity of the body against a specific disease. Now what is this vaccine which is given? You would have often seen that for small kids, polio drops are given in the polio booths. So what are these drops? These are nothing but a very small sample of the pathogen which is being introduced inside the body. Now these pathogen is either inactivated or it is such a minute dose that it is not going to affect the body in any way. But introducing that particular pathogen will produce antibodies inside the body, and also the memory B cells will remember that particular antigen, so that when there is a real attack next time, the body is able to fight against the infection in a better way, and that is how it can prevent the disease from taking place. Now, Edward Jenner in the 1700s was the first one to observe that a person who was suffering from cowpox didn't get it again once a small sample of cowpox was introduced inside his body. Now, in this case, it was an example of natural active immunity, because that person already suffered from cowpox once, so he did not get it again. So he experimented with a cowboy, and he gave a cowpox vaccine and found that he never suffered from the smallpox again. So that is what happened there also. What happened was that the first time the virus attacked, the immune system didn't win because it was not able to produce enough antibodies to fight against it. However, when it attacked the next time, the same antigen, the immune system recognized it and it came back with greater strength and therefore won the battle. And that is how it could protect the body from the infection the second time. So this was the concept of vaccination. So as I said, vaccine is a biological preparation that resembles a disease. Now this preparation could consist of the antigen in inactive form. It could also contain antigen in very minute form, or it can contain an antigen or a pathogen which is already dead. So any of these can act as a vaccine. Now it is made up of dead or very weak microbes, as I discussed just now. It could be dead, very weak, or inactivated. Memory B cells and T cells get generated inside the body as soon as these microbes, as soon as the body gets exposed to these microbes, because these are nothing but the antigens. So whenever the body is exposed to antigens, antibodies will be produced. So these antibodies are produced by the B cells, and the T cells help in the production of these antibodies. Now, active and passive immunization. This we partially discussed in the previous topic. So, however, we'll repeat it once again. So, active immunization. Now, immunization is nothing but another term for vaccination. So, immunization also means to build the body's immunity. So, active immunity means wherever you have the term active, it means the antibodies will be produced inside the host body. So, here the vaccines are introduced into the body. That is, what is vaccine? It is a sample of the antigen, and then the antibodies will be produced inside the body, and it will take its own time. So it is going to be a slow process. Now antibodies attack when there is a real attack of the antigen. So whenever there is a second attack, that time this antibodies will react to it. Example is polio, tetanus. So for all these diseases, vaccines are available and they are given to the kids when they are like very small. To very small kids it is given so that these viruses do not attack them. Next is passive immunization, where the antibodies are ready-made and they are injected into the body. So ready-made antibodies against the specific antigen will be injected into the body. Example is dog bite, snake bite. So in all these cases, they are emergency situations where we cannot wait for the body to produce antibodies against the antigen. So that time we directly inject the antibodies against these type of antigens, because we already know the antigen for dog bite or snake bite. So the corresponding antibodies can be quickly injected into the body and the antibodies will become functional. Now, the vaccination was a huge success. Now, as I said, it was first brought into picture by Edward Jenner, and it was actually a huge success. There were many diseases which have been completely eradicated. That is, these diseases do not happen anymore. And smallpox is one such example. Smallpox has been completely eradicated. However, there was a time when smallpox killed millions of people. Diseases like polio, tetanus, measles have also been reduced, and now you do not see many kids impacted with any of these diseases if timely vaccination is provided to them. Now let us talk about effective vaccination. So how effective is vaccination? Well, the effectiveness of vaccines vary with the type of the disease. Now, the vaccines for all types of diseases now are not equally effective. For example, if you take the example of smallpox, for that it was so effective that smallpox is completely eradicated now. It doesn't happen to anybody now. So it was very much effective. But if you look at some the other diseases like tetanus, polio or measles, there also the vaccines are quite effective, because those who take vaccines, they do not suffer from this disease unless and until they miss it. But there are certain diseases for which vaccines are available, but they are not 100% effective. Even if somebody takes it, it might happen that over a long period of time, the disease might impact that person. For older people, larger doses are needed, so how much vaccine is required, that also varies as per the age of the person. So for mostly vaccines are given at a very younger age, so that the possibility of being attacked by that particular antigen is reduced. However, there are certain diseases for which vaccines are found later. So that's why if it is given for an elderly people, larger doses would be required. It is very important that vaccination schedule is followed. A proper schedule is given for young kids, and that schedule needs to be followed. There are certain vaccines, like these days many vaccines have also come up for many different types of cancers as well. For example, cervical cancer, which has become very common. For that also some sort of vaccination has come into scene. But those vaccination has scheduled. Some of them need to be given, say, first dose once, and then again after 15 days the second dose. So every vaccination will have a specific schedule, and that schedule has to be strictly followed so that the vaccination remains effective. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com for an easy 4-step learning process absolutely free of cost. Watch video lessons, ask questions, refer notes, and take an online test. Thank you once again.